Good morning, everyone. Yep, I'm early enough out here. The sun is still between the trees over there. It's really cool how that happened. Well, anyway. I got something to share today, which has to do, let's see if I can find it now. Oh, here it is. With this tool. It's a tool. See that? You know what that is? It's a pendulum. Yes. I grew up with the pendulum, kinda. In Switzerland, it's kind of a big thing, or the kind of how do you say, exercise or practice of it, just to show what. It's getting windy now out here. That won't work. And the pendulum, of course, what was it now, in 1657 or something? A guy named Christian Huygens. Looks like a Korean name, I'm not kidding you. Bet he's Dutch. And he invented the pendulum clock. Yes? Okay, so people didn't just use the stars or whatever. And a time to tell time, that became more accurate. Well, anyway, so there was the pendulum for that. And then, what was it also used for? Oh, yeah, for the to prove the rotation of the Earth, right? Okay, well, that all works. And that actually, interesting to me, well, in 1657, would that not have already become kind of known, or wouldn't people have these inventors they all, so smart when it came to all that stuff, already kind of been aware of that, right? Or could they give some of the information, had to leave some of it out because of the time? Because Galileo somehow was also involved in all that, which he, as far as I know, lived way earlier. Anyway, so then in 1851, yes, the pendulum was used to prove the theory of the rotation of the Earth, right? At 1851, as far as I know, in the 1300s, even before that, 1400s, this was already common knowledge amongst some. Of course, now we think everybody knew that, which may or may not be true. Because again, who needed to control the people? Who needed things to be the way they wanted it to be? Because, just saying, yes, the pendulum. Okay, let's see. I have not used the pendulum in a long time. I found that my journey with it, eventually I didn't need it, right, anymore. Because talking to people, you're talking to the pendulum, which is doing what? You're talking to spirit world. But the thing is that, man, there's a lot of influences that can happen with that. So, face-to-face talking to people, it is being used a lot for health purposes, or has been. I don't know how well it is still received now, because of what? Because it's been abused as well. You make money with things like this, and yeah, it won't end well. It just doesn't, because that's not God's purpose for certain things. That's not on how we should use our gifts. I'm just saying, to have a conversation with someone that's concerned about their health or this or that, talking to them, okay, so what do you eat? What have you been eating? What have you been doing? Where do you work? What have you been around? Right? And then, so what are your symptoms? Right? It's not that hard to figure out what may be going wrong if you have some knowledge, okay, which I have very little, to tell you the truth. So I find that having a constructive conversation face-to-face with someone, right, is much more accurate than using the pendulum where you may or may not get the answers you're looking for, right? Yes, I'm just saying, right? Because again, of all the other influences that in spirit world, again, due to certain circumstances, are present. Right? And a face-to-face conversation with someone that may take 30 minutes or something, then saying, well, I'd start out with this if I were you. Shouldn't cost anything, don't you think? I'm just saying. So I went to a couple of workshops, which were great, by the way. The stuff that I experienced there was fabulous and horrendous. Painful, rather. Very painful. Physically. I was attacked physically big time. I was very young at the time, still battling with migraines. And yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. But anyway, I had a great time though otherwise and learned a lot, but also saw some things that I had to say I would not be doing it this way. The reason not, because even already at that time, right, I realized that when you have certain gifts, you just give. Because the take comes back in other ways from someplace else besides trying to sell people a bunch of stuff, which then they're concentrating on the pills rather than their spiritual makeup that needs removal or done better. All right. So let's see if I can still do it. I think I need to put my glasses on so I can see something. I'm using my own energy. I'm trying not to have... I'll show you what happens when you actually put your elbows down. Oh yeah, I tried that many different ways to see, okay, how does this actually work? From what I understand, so I'm going to use my own. I'm not going to, you usually should prep yourself a little bit. There is what I will do is, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, I'm teaching people, so please work together with me. So I'm using my own energy, my own hand, and I won't start it. I usually start it. Oh, there it goes already. Can you see? I'm not doing anything. Hard to believe, isn't it? And people have a hard time believing it. Let's see if I can block my energy and have it stop. Yep. Release. Okay. Interesting. Now I'm going to put my arm down on the chair and also break the flow of energy. Oh, you still want to work? Man, that's... Whoa. My arm is down on the... That's not supposed to happen. Wow. I've not used the pendulum in a long time, which tells me that my spiritual makeup has grown a lot. This is pretty amazing because I am breaking the flow of energy in my arm and it's not stopping. Shall we ask it a question? All right. Let's ask, how many spirits do I have on the porch here? I'm laughing. Okay, all right. See, they're laughing. It went into yes position. Yes, there's one way, yes. Okay, go the other way. There you go. Now it's going the other way. Right? Yeah? So you think I'm doing this, right? I can't think of a question right now that wouldn't be silly. I don't like to abuse anything, okay? Even if it's just to show you guys, right? Well, but you're teaching, yes? And with teaching comes responsibility, right? Anyone could do this and you don't need to have this. Can anyone do it? Well, one thing I just learned here is that spiritual growth makes a difference. Yes? I think the last time I've used this, okay, like this to test, with the arm down or whatever, maybe 20 years ago. I've used it in between for some things. Blood clots is one thing. This seems to work. Seems? I don't have any evidence. All I know is that when I got a call a couple of times, I found out, oh, this and this is happening and had to do with blood clots. I use this unbeknownst to the people. I need to know their name. I need to know their birthday. I need to know, okay, a few things in order for it to happen. And the best thing is to even have a little something personal off them. Yeah, some hair. Okay, I'm just saying. That's their energy, my energy, spirit world energy. Come on now. Well, anyway. And if you've ever studied the hair, which I did, by the way, because I was in an apprenticeship to become a hairdresser. Yeah, in Switzerland, you don't just become a hairdresser or whatever. You actually go 4 years to school, just like you were to go to college, but you work and you go to school, right? Once a week only, but that's enough. No, twice a week it was. Right? And you learn about hair and the construction of hair and how alive hair is. Okay, well, what did they use it for? DNA. Okay, all right. Proof the identity of someone. Okay, all right. I'm just saying. You don't need one of these either. It's easier to have one of these because the weight of a pendulum helps also with the movement. Something lighter, okay, takes a little longer to take off. But you can take a gold ring, a silver ring, okay? I'd say probably just about any kind of metal. I don't think it matters. That's too bad I didn't have anything else prepped here for that. And you can put it on a chain or a piece of string and hold it and then see what happens. Yes, anyone can do that. You can. Do you have to believe in it? I don't think so. Because it isn't just your disbelief or belief that you're working with. Yes? Okay. But again, in my belief, when you work with the pendulum, get started, it's got to be God-centered. That's one thing I did learn in these workshops. You do it God-centered. As I said, 3/4 of it all was great. Then there was that quarter of it in these workshops with on how the leader of the workshops, or the one that was also doing the pendulum for people's houses, on how it was done, I had to say, that's going to backfire on you. And it sure did. Many, many years later. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. Okay. But it taught me a lesson, again, on how important it is to not get distracted. When you come across God's true creation, on how things actually work, how amazingly God put everything together, how it works, and how easily it can get out of balance, not in God's creation, within ourselves. And on then how negative influences, which do exist at this time still, even in spirit, will interfere and not give you a proper reading. Yes? Okay. Well, you saw how it worked, okay? Usually, as I said, I started, hello, I got you a little warm up, a little bit, Usually I don't have to I don't just wait, because I've done this for a number of years when I learned about it. Then you become just, I don't have to have, I wanted to show you guys that proof. You sure you're not moving your arm? I'm not moving my arm, okay? And surely when I said, okay, now go the other way, right? All right, I'm just saying. But the best thing, this is one of those things you can try out yourself. So I started, and if I do anything, and there's a little setup that goes with it. Copper blocks other energy. Or if I would have used this on a person and want to make sure that it's cleared up again, yes? What about crystals? If you believe in crystals, for example, they have a certain amount of power as well. Okay, power, what is that? I'm not into crystals too much, but I've experienced that side of God's creation as well, that sadly oftentimes is being used by what? Magic, paganism, certain other things, that the credit is not given where the credit belongs when it comes to all of it. And you will never, ever understand something in its entirety if that credit where it belongs, to know how things truly work together, how they truly are supposed to be used in truth, which is, you have got, if you're a healer out there, if you want to be one, if this is something you want to give it a try just because of whatever, you have got to give. As a doctor and nurse, you have got to give way more than you will ever receive back. Okay? Yes, I'm not against the salaries of doctors and nurses. They studied a lot for what they do, this and that. But it's kind of become more of a money machine than a healing machine. Yes? Okay, the whole thing. I think we can agree on that. So I started again, over someone's hand, clear it with copper. And have a little copper piece as well. All right, I'm not going to get all that out. I have a little wooden peg I use on a chart where I know people have something going on, say a blood clot. As I said, I think this for blood clots is amazing. I'm not sure how well it works for certain other things. It's interesting to me on when I did use it, kind of, was excited about the whole process of this. At the beginning, many gazillion years ago now, the people that you're doing it for or with, and even want it, yes, if their heart to mind is not there 100%, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, this seems to be, then of course it's not going to work, right? Yes? Oh, is this an instant healer of something? I doubt that very much. It's a tool to be used between spirit world and the physical world, if that. And then, of course, everyone has to work together and unite. Then it'll work perfectly. Yes? Okay. All right. So, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, in the name of our blessed true parents, I bestow upon you God's love and healing at this time. That was always my. Then, I said, I already started. All right. Let's ask one question. In a physical, my physical body, best is 10, from 1 to 10. What's my, how's my physical health? 10 being the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on now, guys. You can be honest. I can take it. 6, 7. Oh, it's going. 8. Okay. 8. 8 out of 10. Not bad. Age 60. 10 out of 10 would have been great. Yeah, you're laughing. That would have been 40 years ago. That's what I wanted to share about the pendulum. There's way more to say, but again, I could talk myself dämlich and silly, as they say, dämlich in Swiss or German. And right, I gave you a little. Best thing is, if you're interested in that, try it out. It'll work. And if you're in the right state of mind, and go read up on it yourself. And you can take it to the store too, which I had done, to see which vegetables and fruits are actually good for you, and what do I absolutely not want. Yeah, it was pretty funny. There's a couple of times people would follow me, and then whatever I got, they would get too. That was pretty funny. After they asked me what I was doing. But again, I can walk into a store, and all I have to do is be conscientious on how my body is reacting to what I would like, and then should I get it or not. Right? Yes? Yeah. How does it react? If I'm around certain things, I start to get a little nauseous or even lightheaded. Yes? That I don't want that. But when I look at something and, oh, and it could be even something I've never even thought of getting, but it's just drawing me, right? Then I know that's good. Someone put good care into that. That's not laden with poisons and this and that. I'm getting that. Yes? Then I cook around that kind of stuff. If I have to get anything anyway. Yeah, I think I told the one with the chocolate, right? I didn't want to just get any chocolate. No, I'm paying all them prices for it. I found the best chocolate just about you can get here for more than half price off in my wonderful store, the United Grocery. Yep, it's a co-op between the people and the employers as well. There you go. Blue, 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 blue. Working together, be united. And there is that. Now let's get going. What was I going to talk about after? What else? I can't remember now. Anyway, that came to my attention for one reason or another, and I wanted to show that also on how amazing again that the pendulum is a good example on how working together in unity, okay, how possible that is, and what kind of an effect that can have, right? Yes, on something people need some kind of a proof. Well, does it all actually exist beside? Okay, and you get to a certain age and you have to say, my gosh, if I hear that one more time, I mean, it's like people are, which I'm painting right now, two-dimensional drawings. It's two-dimensional minds in comparison to 3 and 4-dimensional minds, right? Yes? Yeah. Anyway. I could get further into it. I could talk all day long about quantum physics and certain other things that go with all of that. Astronomy, I like astronomy. Don't come to me with astrology. Nope, no. I have no idea why I'm born in a certain month, so I have certain things assigned to me, and there are certain characteristics going with that. Okay, whatever. A hot flash is hitting me. I know that's a science thing. That is actually real. Ugh. And then when you start to understand the realism of the physical world, then you also will start to understand the realism of spirit world. Just saying. All right, there. We are in. The sun just is hitting me now, which makes me really warm. I want to start taking my clothes off here, which just means it's going to be a nice, wonderful, beautiful day to work in the garden. Eek, I gotta wait. I have to wait. I can get things ready, but I gotta wait. Don't plant. It's a little too late for cold crops and too early for the other ones, so I have to wait. Wait. I'm only going to plant flowers, by the way. Sissy likes flowers. I'm not going to be here. She's going to love them, and she's going to take care of them. Yes? You see? Yeah. Okay. I still get to plant. Oh, and most of the flowers that I have here, they're edible. They're very nutritious. Okay, all right. Sunflowers, for example. Okay. Then I'll get going. All right, I'm getting going. The first book of Chronicles, 28. We're getting there, guys. We got 2 more to go. Then we have to go through the second book of Chronicles. Nope, don't sound too excited, do I? It's okay. $29. Offerings for building the temple. Furthermore, King David said to all the assembly, my son Solomon, whom alone God has chosen, is young and inexperienced, and the work is great because... I just got a whiff of a fire. I don't see any smoke. Just my imagination. Because the temple is not for man, but for the Lord God. My son Solomon, whom alone God has chosen. Is that true? How was he chosen? Okay. Now for the house of my God I have prepared with all my might, gold for things to be made of gold, silver for things of silver, bronze for things of bronze, iron for things of iron, wood for things of wood. Okay, so here's my question right here. Onyx stones, stones to be set, glistening stones of various colors, all kinds of precious stones, and marble slabs in abundance for things. Do you guys remember on how absolutely intricate and precise God's instructions were to build the Ark of the Covenant? They all, the tabernacle and the tent and the outside around, and how the stove to burn stuff, the fireplace, how that all had to be, and how they had to, then the breastplates for the guys, this snatch, what were they called again? And otherwise the garments and all, and how that, and here. Did you just get that? That immediately. It wasn't written down exactly. We had so much gold, and we made this, and this, exactly as it was so many ounces, blah, 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 da, 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 da. They had the circumference of this, and this. We get some from the temple, right? Yes? And otherwise as well. But how is it put in here? Okay, if the whole book of Chronicles were like that, I'd say, oh, okay, they just simplified things, because we already read about certain things beforehand, right? About the temple, this is not how it was constructed as well, right? Yes? But, moreover, because I have set my affection on the house of my God, I have given to the house of my God over and above all that I have prepared for the holy house, my own special treasure of gold and silver. David very, very much wants what? 3,000 talents of gold, of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver to overlay the walls of the houses. Oh, now here he becomes precise over his own gold. The gold for things of gold, and the silver for things of silver, and for all kinds of work to be done by the hands of craftsmen, who then is willing to consecrate himself this day to the Lord. Oh, that's with a question mark. David, where are you going with this? Then the leaders of the fathers' houses, leaders of the tribes of Israel, the captains of thousands and of hundreds, with the officers of the king's work, offered willingly. Oh, okay. Oh, so she's trying to be a good example. Okay, I know what you guys are thinking. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? Yes, it would be if David actually were true to it all. If David were true to it all, he would have done what? Never built that temple. They gave for the work of the house of God 5,000 talents and 10,000 derricks of gold, 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents of bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. And whoever had precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of the Lord, into the hand of Jehiel the Gershonite. Okay. Wow, they sure had a lot of stuff. And why were the people so unhappy, though? I said, why all this stuff need to be guarded? It's all within Israel. Oh, goodness. Then the people rejoiced, for they had offered willingly, because with a loyal heart they had offered willingly to the Lord, and King David also rejoiced greatly. Wait a second. Who was then the leaders of the fathers' houses, leaders of the tribes of Israel, the captains of thousands, of hundreds, with the officers of the king's work, offered willingly. It doesn't say the people did. Okay, not going there. Let's just read. Oh, wait. Where am I here? Surely it wasn't already done. Huh? No. Okay. You know what I just did, you guys? I missed one. Tout alors! I missed one! Well, this is going to be an interesting long video, and I'm not starting it again. I rarely do that unless something comes up where I say, okay, this is going to be a way longer break. Then I can just let you guys sit here. The piggy's going up the hill. But otherwise, I don't do that. It doesn't matter what comes along. I started reading in 29, not in 28. Do you guys notice that? I just did. All right, we are in the first book of Chronicles 28. Now David assembled at Jerusalem, as Solomon instructed to build the temple. Now David assembled at Jerusalem all the leaders of Israel, the officers of the tribes and the captains of the divisions who served the king, the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, and the stewards over all the substance and possessions of the king and of his sons, with the officials, the valiant men, and all the mighty men of valor. Okay? So who was all assembled there? The upper crust. Okay, got it. Then King David rose to his feet and said, "Hear me, my brethren and my people. I had it in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of the Lord and for the footstool of our God, and had made preparations to build it. But God said to me, You shall not build a house for my name, because you have been a man of war and have shed blood." However, the Lord God of Israel chose me above all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he has chosen Judah to be the ruler. And of the house of Judah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father, he was pleased with me to make me king over all Israel. Dream on, buddy. Man, I wonder once David went to spirit world and kind of everything was put in front of him, did he get it? How do you get something that you don't understand to begin with? Time had to go further on, but the communication seems to have been somewhere. Oh, or has it? No. And of all my sons, for the Lord has given me many sons, he has chosen my son Solomon to sit on the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. Okay, I've said this many times. We know the story, don't we, and how that happened? Okay. Now he said to me, It is your son Solomon who shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Now, wouldn't God wait to see how Solomon was going to do and see if he was going to stay away from bloodshed and this and that and all that? Or God would go for, yeah, he's young enough, kind of a boy still. So let him build the temple, and then let's just hope that. So what? So if Solomon turns kind of out the same as his father, what are you going to do? Break the temple back down, and then God's going to say, I need someone else to build the temple. That one, they ain't doing it either. Because of whatever they decide. Okay. Hey, you know what? That doesn't make any sense. You got to get, that's what I say. I believe in spirit world and the functioning of a pendulum. But it also has a very physical realism to it. Right? Yes? And, I do want the proof in the pudding. In a way, right? Yes? Because you can't have it. There's no need to not have it and walk through life ignorant. Everything's there for you to study, for us to study, for us to discover what others already have discovered, maybe just parts of it, put it all together, and you come to the realization on how amazing spirit world, the universe, the earth, how everything works together in this just fabulous, amazing way. If we let it. Yes? And of course, the center of it all is what? Our Father in heaven, our parental God, our heavenly parents. God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah. Don't misrepresent our God, please. Yes? All right. For God is all good. He definitely wouldn't be this finicky. He said he didn't want a temple. Now they're going to figure out why that is, right? Figuring out, oh yeah, it must be because. Yeah. Now he said to me, it is your son Solomon who shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Really? Did God tell you that? All right. Moreover, I will establish his kingdom forever, if he is steadfast to observe my commandments and my judgments as it is this day. Now, therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the assembly of the Lord, and in the hearing of our God, be careful to seek out all the commandments of the Lord your God, that you may possess this good land, and leave it as an inheritance for your children after you forever. Solomon, you really are good at putting a show on. You could have done all this in quiet, start instructing your son properly, start building the temple together. But here he is. He has all them people assembled. Then he says, God told me this. That's my son. Blah, blah, blah. And God, gotcha, buddy. As for you, my son Solomon, know the God of your father and serve him. How old is Solomon at the time when David told him that? I know he wasn't very old. Which reminds me of something, too, that I saw. That said, that dude would have been 2 years old when he was... It's because of the way that someone put something together and I'm going, yep, okay. People are going to believe it. That dude was 2 years old at the time. Okay, Daniel. I find it funny. Consider now, for the Lord has chosen you to build a house for the sanctuary. Be strong and do it. Then David gave his son Solomon the plans for the vestibule, its houses, its treasuries, its upper chambers, its inner chambers, and the place of the mercy seat, and the plans for all that he had by the Spirit of the courts of the house of the Lord, of all the chambers all around, of the treasuries of the house of God, and of the treasuries for the dedicated things. Really? Also for the division of the priests and the Levites, for all the work or the service of the house of the Lord, and for all the articles of service in the house of the Lord. He gave gold by weight for things of gold, for all articles used in every kind of service, also silver for all articles, and silver by weight for all articles used in every kind of service. The weight for the lampstands of gold, and their lamps of gold by weight for each lampstand and its lamps, for the lampstands of silver by weight for the lampstand and its lamps, according to the use of each lampstand. Well, here we go. Oh, remember what I said about the things of the things and the things of the things? Okay. And by weight, he gave, it's mentioned again and again and again then. But it doesn't tell us, it's not as detailed. We just know where it's going, kind of. And by weight he gave gold for the tables of the showbread for each table, and silver for the tables of silver. Also pure gold for the forks, the basins, the pitchers of pure gold, and the golden bowls. Pure gold is very malleable. And for the silver bowl, silver by weight for every bowl. And refined gold by weight for the altar of incense, and for the construction of the chariot, that is, the gold cherubim that spread their wings and overshadowed the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All this, said David, the Lord made me understand in writing by his hand upon me all the works of these plans. Oh! So David had, according to this, he even wrote things down, like he got the instructions from Spirit World. Then why the forth and back with who was it? Samuel? I don't know. This is, it's not consistent. And David said to his son Solomon, be strong and of good courage, and do it. Do not fear nor be dismayed, for the Lord God, my God, will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you until you have finished all the work for the service of the house of the Lord. Here are the divisions of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of God. And every willing craftsman will be with you for all manner of workmanship, for every kind of service. Also the leaders and all the people will be completely at your command. Okay. I've talked so much about this. I'm just reading right now. And then I started on the wrong one, which, we could just read both of them, be done with it, kind of thing. Would you, if you were actually, even today, you stand in front of someone that okay, they're kind of way up there in the power league and money league and all that jazz, and you would hear them say something where you're going, but that's not true. I know that's not true because I live that, for example. Would you say something? Would you get up and say, hey, but I don't understand with the instructions that David had gotten right at the beginning about that temple and the reason he shouldn't be building it, which I think the reason came later, if I remember this right. How come these prophets, unless they too, it was like, where is the relationship with God here? Where has it gone in such a short amount of time, right? Since Moses and Aaron. I mean, Moses must have had some kind of an amazing connection to God for one reason or another. Oh, and the thing is, what did Moses do? Moses killed a person before he left Egypt. Supposedly. I wonder if that's actually true. Or, okay, again, it doesn't make any sense that then God is all wibbity wobbity about David. Oh, too much bloodshed. Oh, is there such a thing as too little? Oh, this amount is all right. This is okay. Ah, that's too much. What is that again? How does that make sense? So I wonder. So I must assume. Assume. I do not need to assume because I see the Ten Commandments. I see what they are. How they have prevailed with the accuracy of what we should be to each other as human beings, how we should acknowledge and have a relationship with God, our own well-being. It's all there. They care for our surroundings. And the importance of lineage, it's all there. Every bit of it in 10 simple rules, laws of heaven for our happiness, not our destruction, given to Moses. So Moses must have had an amazing, right? Yes? Relationship with God at one time. And I don't understand. It baffles me on how quickly that deteriorated. Oh, in Moses, when it came to uniting together, working towards a common goal, as God the center. Okay. Well, anyway, there it is. We got one more to go, which we already read partly through. So maybe what I'll do is, okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to go with the inconsistency that it jumped ahead a little bit. That's what we're going to do. There's always a reason for all this. May not know right now. Oh, if you would have read 28 first, then the gold and the silver and the this and the that for just the things. I would have not said that. Yet maybe I needed to say that. Right? Because in a way that they're explained a little bit more, then I would have not noticed that. Right? Yes? I find it interesting too, reading through all that. And maybe I should say that tomorrow after, or whenever I read 29. Maybe I'll say it more than once. Is on how God is set up in a way as well. I don't even know if the belief of the people is there anymore, or if it is, it's a way to just control the people. I don't know. I mean, seems like it with all this, and making sure the kings, keep that going for sure. It's like setting up God to, will be your place. That's where you're going to be. And we're going to have it all. We're going to have the praying going on there, all the offerings and this and that. Then the singing and all. It's all right there. Yet God told him, I've been moving from place to place in that tent. And I'm good with it. I wonder why God also said that. I do believe he did say that. Communicated that in some way. No, I'm good in the tent. I'm moving to place, right? I guess wherever you decide to send me because you're so scared of me. But then, the blessing of the one family. It seems like everybody was blessed where the Ark of the Covenant ended up in that tent, this and that. God seemed to be happy with it, probably because he had what? He had the basis wasn't just one big building with all this stuff in it that who knows where it came from, how much blood was in it on it. Would God rather people starve and he had all them golden things, and I don't know what, offerings, or would he rather, hey, I don't need all that, make sure the people are fed? Just saying, asking. What makes people think? So I think God was happy to just be among the people here and there and there and here. What makes people think that you can put God into a building? I have no idea. That rooster thinks that's pretty silly too. All right. Things to restore. Little by little. I find it interesting too. Last thing on how, yes, many young people still go to church, this and that. That kind of depends too. What kind of time do you have there? A lot of people don't, young people, even older people, not going to church. And the thing is, don't look at that as something negative. Don't do that. Please. Because what happens then is, what do we have to do if we want to witness? We got to go out there too, don't we? We got to take God with us. We got to take Jesus with us. We got to take true parents with us. There's a bird sitting on the tallest ost branch of my kiwi plant. Just sitting there like, ooh, like Yertle the turtle. Yeah, that's what we have to do, don't we? Yes? Yeah? Oh, well, Father, aren't you a smarty pants? Huh? You got that fixed, you see now? Yeah, you think you're going to keep me there? We're at a time in our lives where we bring, and I've talked about this before, you take God with you everywhere you go. Yes? That's necessary now. Yeah? It was always necessary. That's what God loves to do. Take him shopping with you. Right? Oh, by the way, you do that, you might just stay within your budget because someone's going, you don't need that. Right? You don't need to. But somebody has a birthday coming up. Just get them something tiny, something small. Right? Yeah. Oh, okay. So many other things, right? Yes. You go out to eat. Don't worry about the service. Remember that some of these waiters may have been on their feet already for several hours and they're feeling it. Yes. They're tired. Yes. So if they're a little, just give them a smile. Thank them. Man, you must have worked a long time already today. Right? Thank you for still serving us. Right? Yes? And leave them a nice tip. If you got money to go eat out, you got money to leave a nice tip. That's my cue right there. Yes. Take God with you. Yeah. Isn't that right? Huh? Yeah, that's how you work. Of course. We don't even realize. All we see is the negative and don't even realize. That is God's will and desire, guys. Yep. Okay. God's love and blessings always. May he protect you. And I will talk to y'all another time.